Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's add slider images for each one of these guys over here. All right, so let's start with one. Once we make one, we can then copy over the content to every other one of these here. So let's go ahead and move to our plugins folder. And I'm going to go to the slider plugin here, and let's look at the admin view over here. Okay, so in here we want to put the right content instead. So obviously we'll put some kind of div. I'm gonna do this, and I want to add some classes. Let me just add some padding here, maybe P2, something like that, for Bootstrap classes. Now, of course, here you can use actual styles or your own classes as needed. You don't have to use Bootstrap. So the first thing, of course, we're going to need is an image, because, of course, the main thing is an image here. So I'm going to do emptiness there, like this. I will add some styling. Now I could use Bootstrap classes, for example, the IMG thumbnail and something like this. Let's see what that gets me. So there we go. We have this image over here, which is cool. But the resolution of the image, I want the width to be 100%, but then the height maybe 300 pixels or something like that. So let's add a direct style over here. So I'm going to say width 100%, and let's do height over here. This one 200 pixels, something like that. And then let's use object fit cover. That way it doesn't stretch the image. So let's see what we got here. There we go. So a bit too small for my liking here, so let's put 300 pixels, maybe even 400. Let's try that. Okay, pretty good. Maybe let's try 300. Let's not get carried away. Or maybe 350, something like that. Okay, so with that we are good. And I want to have a form here. So instead of repeating the form, oh, there is a form here. Look at that. I forgot. Okay, so we are good in that front. What I need now is the text. Let's come back over here. If we go to the website home, we have to remind ourselves what params we need. For example, we want that caption, and we want the link. So caption and link plus image. So three things. So here, let's put caption. So I'm going to say this one will be just a normal input of type text, of course. And let's add some classes. Let's put form control. And the name of this will be caption, of course. Something like that. Let's put a placeholder. And let's just say add your caption here. Something like that. Okay. So with that, we're good. We can also duplicate this to put a link instead. Let me put a label here so that we know what this is for. We can just say caption, like that. Okay, good. And then let's duplicate this. In fact, maybe I should put this inside a div so that I can add some margins and stuff like that. Let me move like this here, like so. And let's save that. Let's put class margin Y, which is top and bottom. Let me put 3, something like this. That way I can then duplicate this, and instead of caption we put a link. Okay, so here we can say link, I don't know, you can put what you want here. Link, something like that, I guess. The name here will be link, and that should actually do the trick. So back here, let me refresh, and there we go. So we have caption, we have link, add your caption, add your link here, and that should do the trick. And then let's add some save, and I think it's just a save button that we need to add, because cancel here just takes us where would it take us? Not really anywhere. So we just need that save button. Now, since the save button is common to every one of these, we can just put it right at the end here. So we'll put a button over here and say save, something like this. And let's put a class, let's say button and button primary, something like that. Okay, cool. So immediately this becomes the save, it becomes a submit button by default, or you can actually hard code the type of submit if you want. Okay guys, so there we go. Let me see what we got here. I'm going to refresh, and there it is. We have our save button down here. Very good. Okay, so this we are doing here, we can copy to the rest of these guys. As you can see here, this is what we get. But there's one thing we need to add here. We need to add an index so that we know the ID that we are targeting for each one of these guys. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here. We need to put a hidden field somewhere here for each one of these. So I'm going to do input type hidden like that. And let's see. Hidden name ID, and let's put a value here of 1, for example, because we want this to be saved in ID 1, and each one will have that corresponding thingy here. Okay, so with this in mind, I shall proceed to copy. So let me grab this, copy, and let me paste. Okay, so the only thing we change here is the ID to 2, and same thing here, paste, yes, let me put 3 here, there we go, and I'm going to paste here as well. Let's put 4. Cool. Okay, very good. Let's check it out over here. So refresh, and let's go to number 2. Looks exactly like number 1 and number 2. They all look the same. Okay, so that's good. Now the thing is, since we're uploading images over here, we will need to, it's not a need per se, but it would be nice to have a progress bar, because most of the time when you're uploading images, it may take a while, especially if you have slow internet speeds and you're using real photos from a camera, which could be quite heavy sometimes. So we need to be able to see the progress. So I'm going to add a progress bar right at the top here. Now we don't need many progress bars, we just need one at a time, because we will be uploading one of these at a time. So we don't need it to be we don't need to put one for each. So I'm going to put a class here and say progress. So Bootstrap already has classes for progress bars. You just put progress bar like that. So the outer div is progress, the one inside is progress bar, and you can put some text here. Let's try 50%, but this is just text. What we need to change to see the progress is actually the width of this thing. So I'm going to say width, let's try 50%. So these two must match in order for it to make sense. So I also want to put margin top and bottom so that there's a little bit of space here, and we can say uploading dash 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 50%. Okay, something like that. Let me refresh, and there we go. So we have that uploading progress bar over there, which is awesome. Okay, so there's padding 2 here, I guess. Maybe that's interesting. Okay, so that shows us our progress once we hit the save button, and this progress is the same on all of these. Great, awesomeness. Now, since we're using the progress bar thingy here, we'll need to use Ajax in order to upload the contents of this thing. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to our where are we going? Let's go to our controllers right over here. So there is a controller here. Okay. So this will only work when this is in the admin section. So let's set that up in the plugin section here. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to controller over here. So let's put some options here. So I'm going to say if, for example, all right, if we're in the admin section, that is, so that's important. Come to here. So we do have plugin route and admin route over here, which we can use. So I'm going to say if page is equal to, let's use vars over here, and we're going to say vars admin route and okay URL. Now you don't have to use page here, you can use URL 0. It's the same thing, it's just that page is a bit more readable when you're coming back to understand it, to understand the code. So 1 will be the next one after 0. So if that second one is equal to, let's use vars again, and this time we're doing this plugin route now, plugin route like that, then we're in business, right? So if that is true, then let's require the controller over here. Now before we require this file, we could, because we want this to only work when something was posted, right? This is the only time we need any of this. So what I'm going to do is, let me just say request, something like that, is equal to new core request. Now I want to have an if statement to start with. If request posted, something like this. So only if something was posted do we end up going this direction, like so. Alrighty then. So if something was posted, we then check to see if we meet this criteria over here, and then we go ahead and do our thing. So we load this controller when it suits us. Now the only time things will be posting will be done through Ajax. So we'll put our content, once the Ajax thing is done, we'll do everything here. But the sure thing that we need to put here is the die thingy here, because when you're using Ajax, you're not actually reloading the page, you're just accessing the page through JavaScript. The same page, you're accessing it through JavaScript. So once we are done with that part, we don't need to go any further. We're not needing to load any HTML. We want whatever result we get here to be clean. Because whatever we echo at this point is going to be our Ajax result. So we don't want that echoed content to contain any HTML that comes further down the line. So that's why we tell it to die over here, because once it goes through here, it has fulfilled its purpose, then we can just die. So for now, this is all we're going to do. This should work as intended. So yeah, in the next video, we're going to see how to actually create an Ajax request and have it return some kind of result. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.